Hello and welcome to the Build with Baer workshop. My name is Baer. I'm here to build a model kit and hang out with all of you. I'm going to go ahead and throw the Baer Cave, the Lego of the site, the Tier 2 Blue Mountain chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can apply with those emotes. If you are not yet a subscriber, you can say hi or use other people's emotes. Or if you want to be a lurker, you can just go ahead and lurk. I'm going to say hi to some people. First, we do need to throw some applause in for Mr. Bob, who has been subscribing for 70 months. Thank you so much, Mr. Bob. Mr. Bob, thank you very much for your generosity and your continued support. 70 months is so many months. Shout outs to Harold and Dirty and Ghost Valve and Unjon and Lord Crashington. Hey. And of course, Mr. Bob. Welcome, everybody. Lashbrook also subscribed with Prime, saying, I am currently a subscriber for 68 months. Thank you so much, Lashbrook, for that. Let's throw those emotes back into chat. And, of course, Lord Crashington wants me to hit the old dance button, so I will in just a second. Let me throw some emotes in the chat. And then, of course, we'll hit the old dance button right now. Oh, yeah. It's a funky ditty, and I like it. It's a good vibe. And the horns come in, and it's like, yes, thank you, horns. We are close to a hype train, apparently. I don't know how close, but apparently we're on our way. How many channel points do you have last week? Yeah, that's a fun question. How many channel points? Look, some of y'all watch a lot of my streams. And, of course, if you're a subscriber, you get double channel points. I guess I should... Someday I should make big point things. All mine are fairly reasonable. Okay, Unjon has only 203,000, and Lashbrook is at 745,000. Because I don't have, like, we don't bet on anything here. I don't do any of that. Ghost Valve says around 338K, but I don't spend. Yeah, we don't really have anything around here to encourage you to spend your points other than the dancing, the bell, make a 1,000,000 point item just to end the stream when redeemed. No, or Lord Crashington, no. I should come up with like a big number thing that, hey, maybe I'll have a big number. 217.3K says Harold. Harold, who uses the dance button fairly regularly and also the bell button. I should come up with a big number. Perhaps, maybe, friends. 1,000,000 points for highlighting a message. Ghost off, that's pretty fucking funny. I'm thinking about it because I got a couple days. Because what I want to say is maybe I'll have something for my 6-year anniversary stream, which is happening this Thursday, July 20th from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Time at twitch.tv/PatBaer, where you already are. I'm going to be building the Death Scythe Hell High Grade that came out this year, that arrived in my house today. It came in via FedEx. I got that and the Gundam Rose, which we'll build in the future. But yeah, I have the Death Scythe Hell in my possession. I started advertising it way before I actually had it. Like days before it was in my physical possession. I'm ready to start building that on Thursday to celebrate 6 years of all of this. Now, even the people that subbed day one, because there are a couple of y'all, you won't be at 6 years because I didn't become an affiliate the day one. That took a little while. It took a couple months. It didn't take long, but it took a couple months. 1,000,000 points to say, hey, to Baer. Yeah, I'm going to think about something. I have around 50K, and I use points for dancing to keep at that range. Oh, okay, Lord Crashington, you try to keep it. A large point thing, like some kind of large number, like 100,000? 100,000, maybe I'll put in 100,000 thing. 150? 150 maybe, I don't know. But that's for Thursday. Perhaps I will do that on Thursday. I don't know for sure. Who could say? I have to think about it. If you were on my YouTube today, you saw my first YouTube short. Just hit the shorts tab, check that out. I'm going to have a short I had one today. I'll have one on Tuesday. I'll have one on Wednesday, and I'll have one on Thursday, answering frequently asked questions, showing a little bit of my collection, and promoting Thursday's stream because I would love it. Harold, congratulations, buddy. I became an affiliate 6 years ago today. Well, congratulations to you, Harold. We got started right around the same time within affiliates, you know, a few months apart. Lord Crashton says, I saw that YouTube moved where shorts are now. Yeah, I have a shorts playlist because that makes my life easier. They're in subscriptions. They changed where they show up in subs when you click on your subscription feed. Which I use all the time. I think some people don't use their subscription feed, but I use it several times a day because I subscribe to people and I want to see their videos, which I guess is a weird thing for some people, but for me, that ain't weird. All right, let's get into model kit building. I'm going to go and retweet my tweet, and we'll get into this here. We're working on, thank you, Dustin, out there, for buying a gift card to USA Gundam Store, which allowed me to buy the Zowort Heavy, to then sell, or not sell, what am I saying? To then build here. I bought it with the money that you sent me, which is very kind of you. I got to change that. That's a weird thing that I did. I did a weird thing. I can't tell if it's all of the nonsense I use or if Twitter's broken. We'll start with Twitter very briefly, because again, I can't figure this out. What the deal is. If you made shorts when you were wearing jeans, would they be jorts? Yeah. I made one short over the weekend that will air this week that is a jort, I guess. Yeah. I guess so. I guess so, Harold. I guess technically, yes. We got a leg done. We got the upper body done here. We're going to work on the rest of these legs. These are pretty quick. So Twitter, I've been noticing a thing. And again, it might be that I use it on the web primarily. It might be that I have two things here. What do you call? Why am I blanking on the name that Firefox uses? Extensions. I have two Firefox extensions that modify Twitter, and I think they either aren't liking each other or something else changed. I can't quite tell what's wrong, but something's wrong. That sometimes, and let me know if you see this, because maybe it's not me, maybe it's just Twitter. Sometimes I see someone who I follow will reply to someone who I follow, but I won't see the person they're replying to's name. I will just see a tweet. Like, let's say Jeff Gerstmann tweeted about something today, and Harold replied to Jeff Gerstmann, right? Jeff said something or whatever, and Harold was like, well, you know, in Florida, or well, when I played that video game, or here's a reference to to your body of work, or whatever. Harold made some reply. I would not always, but sometimes just see Harold's tweet, but not the @ I would have to click on the tweet, and then I would see that it's a reply to someone, but I wouldn't see that he was replying to anyone or who he was replying to. And out of context, some of these tweets seem insane. Like, it's, hey, thanks so much. Like, why did my friend tweet to everyone, hey, thanks so much? He didn't. He tweeted a reply to someone who had said something nice to him, hey, thanks so much. But I was like, what is this? It was very confusing. Lots of weird tweets that are really replies to something, so you get no context at all. Okay, great, Lord Crashton. So it's Twitter. So there's your Twitter update. That's happening. I thought maybe it was one of my nonsense things that I use to make Twitter, quote unquote, better for me. I thought maybe it was me. Tweet replies seem messed up. Okay, great. Confirmation. You know what I didn't want to tweet? I didn't want to tweet, hey, are Twitter replies messed up? Because one, people would do a bit back because I follow too many comedians. And two, it would be confusing for other people to just have someone go, yeah, they're messed up. And like, you know what I mean? That was the thing where it's like, I guess I should have asked You don't want a bunch of reply guys. There you go. I think it's been an issue for a while, but flickers on and off at times. Okay, thank you. I guess I would have had to post on Blue Sky, but I'll say this: other than dunking on people that need to get dunked on, I'm trying not to talk about Twitter on other social media. This isn't a social media, but I'm trying not to because it is weird to constantly be talking about like I don't want to talk about Threads at all ever, but I certainly don't want to do it on Blue Sky. I want to talk about Blue Sky bullshit on Blue Sky, and I want to talk about Twitter bullshit here. I guess this is where I talk about Twitter bullshit is with you. My apologies that's how we live. Okay, so I want to talk. This is a quick hit. We're going to get into entertainment news. We're going to talk about more stuff with the writers and actors strike, the Writers Guild of America, and of course the SAG-AFTRA joint guild. But first, I want to talk about a movie that got announced that obviously they're not going to film because even though it'll probably film, who knows what's going on here. We don't know when it's going to happen, but hey, they're going to make another Disney live action apparently coming out soon. This is from the Belfast Telegraph because it is a director from Belfast. It's a word jumble, friends. This feels AI generated, but apparently this is real. This has been like backed up in other places. So, the director, Sir Kenneth Branagh, is directing a Disney live-action adaptation of a Disney cartoon property. And that property is Gargoyles. Now, when you think of Gargoyles, the lore of the show and its dependence on Arthurian myth and legend, Morgana and all of that, you could kind of understand perhaps how someone of a Celtic heritage would be interested in that project. You can kind of assume. But hey, Kenneth Branagh, why are you... What? Kenneth Branagh is going to Kenneth Branagh is going to be meetings about talking about... Well, in this scene, I'd prefer if Brooklyn... Like, Kenneth Branagh is going to talk about Brooklyn and Bronx. Bronx, the gargoyle dog. What? The Lord Crashing and remastering the old game to me feels like a no-brainer, but a obviously when they say live action, they mean like, hey, the human cop is going to be a human cop, and then there will be times where she is just out there doing her thing and chatting with CGI gargoyles. They're not going to put people in gargoyle costumes. They could. They aren't. I don't even want to say they should, because I think that's a nightmare. We don't need to be Cats related, the movie Cats, of course. Here's the thing. If they're doing it as a live action with CGI gargoyles and then human people, they could still get most, if not all, of the original cartoon cast. I believe all of them are still alive. I mean, if you get Frakes in there as the business, like Frakes is, I know Frakes is more interested in directing now, but like, yeah, I'm not trying to talk myself into getting excited about this project. I mostly I'm talking about this because it's Kenneth Branagh, and that's just wild. Keith David. Okay, all right. So my apologies. Ed Asner is no longer with us. He voiced Hudson, the old guy Ed Asner is no longer with us, so there would need to be somebody else. But Jonathan Frakes, yeah. God, he was a billion. The main character, the main villain, David Xanatos, was a billionaire. Even in the 90s, they realized that making him a billionaire was the way to go. Hey, apparently, there's a sequel to the 2019 Aladdin. Apparently, and Guy Ritchie's also going to do Hercules. Hercules live action. I mean, that one of all of these makes the most sense to me. It's like, yeah, you should probably do a live action Hercules. People like Hercules, the character, and people like that animation. I don't know if you need to do it for all of them. I would love to have more Gargoyles, because I think Gargoyles rules. I think it's a great, cool show. But I don't know about this. And of course, who knows when this will happen because of the strike with the Screen Actors Guild, American Federation of Television and Radio Artists, SAG-AFTRA. I always have to look that up. I always forget radio is included. That part of AFTRA is radio. The R in AFTRA is a radio, and I always forget that because I don't think about terrestrial radio ever in my life anymore. I'm never thinking about radio. But yes, they are a member. So we gotta put this on like this. Yeah. We're building a leg, everybody. We're getting it done. All right, so that was that, and that made me feel weird. Let's talk SAG-AFTRA. Variety put up an article because people have questions, right? It's been a while since SAG-AFTRA went on strike. And there's new kinds of media out there, and people have questions. Now, the general consensus is struck shows is the term they use. I don't love struck shows because it's not a good mouthfeel for me. Struck shows. They don't really want to say scab. I think they just don't want to say scab, and that's fine. We know it's scab work. But basically, like, hey, you can't act in union shit. You can't promote union shit that you did. If you did union shit before, you can't promote it. You can't take money from the studios, right? You can do non-union commercial work. There are people who there are exceptions, and so people have questions about this stuff. And so there's some questions came up, and I think this is like interesting and to talk about. So we'll talk about that because, like, yeah, I think people have questions about these things. So there was a Q&A here, an FAQ, I should say. I'm a film critic. Can I review a movie? This is great. If you have if you consider yourself a critic, in the space, if you're in the critical space, this might be information that you appreciate having. Absolutely. Critics are not on strike and are not obligated to stop reviewing movies or TV shows. Now, if you are a critic that does reviews that involves celebrity guests, I'm going to have to change some stuff around there. I'm an entertainment journalist. Can I cover movies and TV? Yes, entertainment journalists, whether they belong to a union or not, are not on strike. Even broadcast journalists represented by SAG-AFTRA are not affected, as the strike only relates to television theatrical contract. Because if you are a journalist as part of SAG-AFTRA because you were on television, so therefore if you're on television for union shows, you're part of AFTRA and the SAG-AFTRA part, but they are not covered in the same kind of contracts. So union folks like that are not striking because they're not part of the deal, which is like, that's a fine thing. That's a thing I didn't know about until started hearing about these strikes. I was unaware that journalists, like, I was like, well, that is interesting because you think journalisms would be working, but that's the case. So All right, but what if I'm an entertainment journalist. Will any actor talk to me about their project? Probably not. That will be promoting struck work. Again, that's the term there. They may talk about why they're on strike, though. And that is generally the advice given to people out there who are like, hey, I had this interview lined up for this thing. You know, I should just cancel it, right? And the response you can have is, well, if you wanted to, you could just tell them, hey, I can't talk about Barbie, but I can talk about the writer or the actor's strike and the writer's strike if you want. You can offer that. What if the actor wants to talk about their project and sets up the interview through their personal publicist and not through the studio? That's not okay. Even if the actor is like, hey, I want to be a jerk about this. According to SAG-AFTRA, the Writers Guild softened on this after a few weeks. So the Writers Guild was basically like, hey, if you through your own personal contacts want to hang out and talk about a thing, but it's not through a studio, they got a little more lenient on that stuff. But SAG-AFTRA has not leaned on that. That's not okay. Let's see. I don't belong to SAG-AFTRA. Can I show my support for the strike? And totally. This, you know, and again, this was the follow-up question, should I boycott Netflix? Basically, we've talked about this on stream. Nobody's asking you to boycott anything because it doesn't really matter on that. But whereas your, hey, I'm not giving this place $10, doesn't really affect the bottom line of that place. $10 thrown in with the Entertainment Community Fund means a lot. Or, as we've talked about this, if you are a non-union member but you're interested in joining the union, going to a strike and striking, that definitely is a positive step. But also, explain to your friends and family members that, you know, just because you've seen them on TV doesn't mean they make big time money. And in fact, most don't. And that's one of the reasons why they're striking. It's a big reason why they're striking, is because they don't earn a living and they have to live in mostly have to live in LA and New York to do the work, which are expensive cities. But they ain't getting the cheddar that they need to do that. And just because you recognize an actor from a show doesn't mean that actor is doing super well. Can SAG-AFTRA members do reality shows and game shows? Yes. There's a lot. There's a whole document about it. But you can do that stuff. You can do non-union commercials. You can do video game work because, of course, that's not union. Talk shows. You can do non-union cartoon work, and a lot of people will. Certainly. I'm an influencer. Can I promote movies and TV shows? And it's like, so if you work under the SAG-AFTRA influencer agreement, no. If you want to join SAG-AFTRA at some point, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do this. Don't do this work. Like, don't be a scab if you someday want to join up. Like, that ain't going to work out great for you. Those influencers have been asked not to promote struck work, movies and TV shows, either pay or organically. But if you have a contract, you probably fulfill that obligation. That's kind of what we're saying is, you know, if you're not union, you had yourself, you got involved in a contract to do some promotional work. Probably do that. Okay, so here's a great question. This is a question I bet didn't come up the last time there was a writer's strike or the last time there was an actor's strike. I'm fairly confident that this question didn't come up then. Can I do cosplay? If you are not in SAG-AFTRA, go right ahead. Subject to the exception for future union influencers above. If you would like to join the union someday, maybe don't. You're not. You're okay. Also, Harold, you hit ring the bell and I didn't, and I apologize. You've been very patient. I forgot to ring the bell because I was dancing and doing other stuff. Here's the bell. My apologies. I totally forgot to do that, and I just happened to notice that you had done that part. So there you go. Again, my apologies for the delay. If you are in SAG-AFTRA, look in the mirror and ask yourself, am I promoting struck work? Then no. So basically, if you, a actor who is going to San Diego Comic-Con and is not going to be on a panel for your thing, you're supposed to be on a panel for the TV show you're on, but you're not. You shouldn't cosplay as your character from the show and walk around, thus promoting that work. But if you want to dress up as like Indiana Jones, no, probably not because of the new movie or whatever. That was a bad example. If you want to go with your bros as Ghostbusters, that's probably okay. Because there's no struck Ghostbusters project at the moment. Because I don't believe the sequel to Afterlife has started shooting. Producers, yeah. And then, hey, what happens if I break strike rules? Like, hey, what's up? What are we talking about with this? If you do it inadvertently, someone will probably tap you on the shoulder and remind you not to do it again. And by tap, I mean you will get your tweets will blow up. Oops. People will be like, hey, don't do that. But the union absolutely has the power to enforce its strike rules. Penalties may include censure, reprimand, fine, suspension, and/or expulsion. So basically, don't. And if you're not a member of Performance Struck Work, you may be barred from joining the union in the future. Now, the Writers Guild of America is, oh boy, y'all, the Writers Guild of America does not fucking forget. SAG-AFTRA may overlook some stuff, especially promotion of stock work. If you're whatever, like, they might be like, we understand. Writers Guild of America, oh boy, they don't forget. So if you take meetings to do punch-up work, if a friend of yours who is a director, let's say SAG-AFTRA comes to agreement before Writers Guild of America and they go back to work, and they got to film a bunch of stuff, and oh shit, well, the writers never really finished this thing. I'm going to call my friends who are some comedians and see if they can just do some punch-up over the phone. Like, if I give them a what if. People hear about that shit, they won't forget that fucking forever. They will never forget that. It's just best not to. My favorite cosplay, hey Dustin, welcome, was the fat Loki clone from Greatest Disciple Kenichi. Okay, yeah, alright, I could see that. I could see that being pretty fun. Dustin, we're getting close to finishing this up. Thank you again so much for the gift card to use at Gundam Store, which I chose to use for the Zowort Heavy, because it's a cool looking kit that I wanted to build. Alright, we'll do the back of this thing here. So put the back piece on, then we can put the front piece on. So yeah, that's some SAG-AFTRA nonsense. We got one more bit of entertainment news. Peacock's going up, as people are seriously considering getting rid of their subscriptions, and saying fuck off about this nonsense. Peacock is like, hey, you know what we should do? Increase for the first time. It's $1 a month, but it's still $1 a month. Let's see. Other streamers have recently hiked the prices too, including Disney Plus, Paramount Plus, Max, and YouTube TV. Netflix most recently raised the price in early 2020. So yeah, everyone's kind of going up as they are not exploding in new subscribers. They are instead trying to get more money out of current subscribers. Dustin says, yeah, figured I should try and tune in for the end of it. Watch the VOD from Saturday today. Nice! Thanks for watching that VOD. So yeah, Peacock's going up. I am still about 1 month into my 3 months of Peacock that came to me that I don't think I will renew. Do not plan on renewing that. I think what I'm going to do is probably just get it for a month anytime there is something that I really want to watch, which is what I do for Netflix often. I haven't done it in a while, but that is what I have done for Netflix in the past. So I'll probably do that for this as well, where I'll just be like, well, there's a WWE pay-per-view that I want to see, because I don't want to watch all of them, but I probably will watch that. So, okay, well, let me get let me get Peacock for a month and watch that program there. I think that's kind of what I'm going to do. But again, I don't have necessarily plans to have that as a monthly. Right now, I pay for High Dive and Netflix and Wrestle Universe. Not Netflix, sorry. High Dive and Crunchyroll and Wrestle Universe, which is the cyber fights. It is 3 promotions in there. You get yourself, many promotions, but 3 that I actively watch. You get yourself Pro Wrestling Noah, Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling, DDT, and also Gambare. And I don't watch much of Gambare. I mostly watch Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling, and I quite enjoy my time with Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling because it fucking rules. It's so fucking great. I watched like 3 hours last night because they're having a tournament. So they had a show on Friday, Saturday, and they had a show late night Sunday. And I watched the Friday and Saturday with some friends, and it was fucking great. It was real good. Real good time, both of them. Why is this not fitting right? Hey, fit right. There we go. But yeah, I don't have a lot of subscriptors. I don't do a lot of the streamers, as they say. I do pay for Amazon Prime, and so I guess I should include that because I do pay for it. It's just I don't watch a lot of Prime. I have Prime for shipping more than I have for movies. I watch some documentaries on there, but I don't really watch much TV programming on there. I think the last thing I watched was The Kids in the Hall, which was good. It was solid. And no, you know what? Actually, the last thing I watched was League of Their Own, the League of Their Own show, which was, I think, very good and very fun. Nice to see. A lot of people I know were in that show, and so it was nice to see them on something fun. And very gay. So, you know, that's always nice. All right. Let's talk about a little bit of gaming news here. This is a weird thing. A bunch of old games are coming to Xbox. The first ever streaming service, cloud-based streaming service, the third party, I should say, is coming to Xbox. And up front, about 1,300 are going to be available to play. This is Antstream. And then they did a deal with Epic, the Epic Game Store a while back, but this is going through Xbox. Antstream has a lot of stuff. They were founded in 2013, and they have been making deals with old publishers, not to put out ROMs, not to have downloadable games because it's streaming. So if you want to play lots of old games like Miami Chase and Stuntman and Gorilla, just like Ghost Pilots, just like a bunch of Akari. Hey, if you want to stream Akari Warriors from the cloud, you can do that. And it seems like people are interested in that, like game publishers are interested in that because like they own a bunch of old games, but they don't have to do anything to them, and they don't have to worry about ROMs because it's all being streamed. It's not downloaded. So apparently they're interested in that. Also, like they partnered with Tencent, who own a lot of old game companies or companies with old game catalogs. So it's $30 a year or $80 for life. So the price of a premium video game for life. And it's like the most games ever added to Xbox at once, to a Microsoft thing at once. So that's kind of neat. And, you know, it's legal. It's a bunch of ways to play. Some games that just you can't find. Like, yeah, I don't know. It seems kind of neat. I don't know if I don't know if it's fun to play these games in a streaming environment. I can't tell you if it's a good experience or not. I don't have that information. But I think the idea is pretty neat. So I'm like, yeah, I don't know. For my life or its life? Well, Aristofan, I guess for its life or your life, whichever comes first. This company has been around for 10 years. I'm not saying they're going to be around forever, but $80 for a while, I guess. Again, that's through the Xbox. So, you know what I can't tell you? I can't tell you if Stream is going to be available on Xbox Live or on the new console immediately and your old copy works. I can't tell you that. That's not information I have for you. So I don't know about that. But in general, I don't know. Seems pretty cool, I guess. All right, how does this go? This goes like this, and then this goes like... I don't know how these work. What? It goes like that? Okay, it goes like that. Great. I don't know why that was complicated. That was complicated in a way that I didn't need to be. We're building the front part of this kit here. So that's that, and then that goes into D8. These are our, like, this is where our clips go. It's functional because this is a grunt, so it's functional. So we got to get that on here. So we got, you know, our clips for our weapon have to go into this. So that goes in like this. Okay. Sorry, this is a little confusing. Did I do this wrong? Maybe I did. Maybe I did this wrong. No? Okay. Okay, there it goes like that. All right. So that goes like that. And then B20. Yeah, I will say this is a... Okay, so they got one that is just doesn't have a clip in it. So this is B20. And that just goes on here. This. And you just use your imagination on that. But yeah, it's clips for the weapon. They basically made one that is actually removable, which is a neat choice. I was just very confused about what it wanted me to do. I was like, what do you want from me right now? So I can do the no clip version. Haha, no clip. Nice. Oh, or I can do the clip of that. Speaking of no clip, you should, I would say. Okay, so we can do the one that does that, or we can do the fake out one. We'll do the one that has the clip in it, because that's neat. You should check out No Clip's YouTube channel today for a fascinating discussion with the creator of Vampire Survivors, who agreed to talk on webcam, but not have his face be on webcam, because he's a very private individual. So what they ended up doing was, with his permission, I want to stress, he knew this was happening and he was on board for it. They commissioned a puppet to be built. And so the puppet is puppeteered for some of the conversation that Danny has with the creator. And also another person from the company that came on later chats as well, which is very weird and fun. It is a fun choice because he's a vampire puppet for Vampire Survivors. It's a good bit of business. Danny was on Next Another Podcast talking more about GameSpot Tape Archive and all the work he's doing with it. Yes, Lord Crashing, that is true. Danny was on last week's Next Letter podcast. That was a good conversation about game preservation and you know what he's doing with that and saving the tapes and all of that, and lots of conversation about like stuff that they were like hoping that he might find or hoping he wouldn't find, and what Danny's not just copying everything and putting everything up. He is being selective about it. He is not only looking at like what hasn't been preserved, but also like what is in a proper state for some of that, and then also what's some stuff that people would just fucking definitely be bummed out. And apparently he has asked some people about certain things to see if they would be cool with it going up. They're excessively hoping yes, everyone is hoping that Greg's Oblivion marathon, at least hopefully in parts, that Greg actually recorded, because they don't believe that it was ever properly archived, because it couldn't have been the way it was sent out. So the hope is that people did some of that work, but yeah, I don't know. If those tapes exist, that'll be great. And then there might, Vinny might have some stuff to help fill in the blanks here and there, which would also be very funny. No, Lord Creston, YouTube might have existed, but it wasn't if YouTube existed, you couldn't stream to YouTube, and you also could not upload videos that were long to YouTube. Old heads like myself may remember that at YouTube, if you wanted to watch a ripped episode of an anime, like a fan sub, you would watch part 1, 2, 3, and possibly even 4. Because you couldn't upload long videos. Forget streaming. Yeah, you couldn't even upload the video. So there's no way that there was like 100-part Greg Kasavin marathon. Like, that's just not. Like, I don't believe that for a second exists. All right, so I have options. I can do. Oh, no, I just opened. Okay. So D16. We're working on the weapons right now, which is great. We'll get more of that done. But yeah, that's a good episode. I recommend it if people are looking for something to check out and watch. That no clip was very good. Okay, let's go to Kotaku and look up some video stuff to chat about. What's going on at Kotaku? Let me hit news. That's always a good prompt here. No. Vinny's on the new Fire Escape podcast talking with Mike about Baldur's Gate 3 a bunch. Oh, okay. Nice, yeah. I know. Here's the thing, right? I know that Vinny's excited about Baldur's Gate 3. I know plenty of people will be very excited about Baldur's Gate 3. I hope they have a great time with Baldur's Gate 3. That's not on my radar. It's something that I am personally excited about. I was never super into Baldur's Gate 1. I don't believe I ever played 2. But yeah, I never got super into it. But if that's your bag, hell yeah, I'm excited for everybody getting to play a very, very long CRPG. I hope they have a great goddamn time with that. Again, incredibly long CRPG. I hope you have like the most fun. All right, so do I want to do open or close? I think I want to do it closed. I think closed is fine. I think closed is going to be all right. So we'll do it like that. But we can, if we wanted to, we could do it like this, like they're ready to fire. But I think closed looks okay. So we'll do that. Let's see. New laws might require gaming handhelds have replaceable batteries in the EU. And as you may be aware, where the EU goes with major companies often goes the rest of their product lines. Like Apple having USB-C on their new devices. My mom's iPad that she bought, which is it's a 2022 iPad, is the 9th gen, so it might be a little older than that. But that is a USB-C instead of, which is great. That might be the way that handhelds are going, future handhelds. Future consumer tech, yeah. So the Switch 2 or the Steam Deck 2 have user replaceable batteries by 2027, which would be cool. Because it's not impossible to replace those as is, but it's not super user friendly. And if they're demanding that people make it user friendly, that benefits a lot of people. That's a net good. So I would say here's open. Special EU Switch Edition 2 is 2027. So that's the thing, right? They wouldn't do that. They would just make it universal. It does not make sense for, especially Nintendo. Nintendo would be more likely to just not sell in the EU, which they wouldn't do. But they'd be more likely to do that than to make a special version of it just for like that's too much of a change, right? It's one thing to be like, oh, region locking, that's one thing. But this would be like design changes, right? So they would be less likely to do that. And they'd be much more likely to just keep the design idea in mind for the future and be like, oh, okay, well, this next thing will have that. Easy enough. Not easy enough, but because they don't want to do that. Nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to be like a replaceable, repairable thing. They want you to buy a new one. So it's that to me that is an interesting thing. If that does end up becoming the way to go, because it does affect it positively affects the rest of us, so that could be good. Things you can do service on, always going to be in favor of that. I'm not panel lining these because they're black, they're dark gray / black already. There's no point in throwing any panel or any marker on that. But we are almost done here. We got to do the gun, and then we got to we'll build like a beam saber, I guess. We probably won't use the beam saber. We might put the beam saber on, but I got our beams here. Pop these off. We'll do one and holster the other one because you can holster. It's always fun. Pass it over there. Let's get on this big weapon here. Boop. And then boop. Oh, I love it. I love a backpack with weapons on it. That's so good. Shoulder mounted. I mean, it doesn't let it stand up well because of the big gun, but who cares? It's cool. Let's do this to... Nope, that doesn't work. I need something taller than that. Maybe like that? Kind of. That kind of works. We'll leave it like that. It kind of works like that. Let me get these out here. Okay, so we had that. Let's see, other gaming news. In the second hour, we're going to talk about some manga and some anime, of course. But we'll get into more of that talk later. Let's get these beam sabers out and about. Take a look at these here. That's going to be it for B. Let's see. Okay. Here's our beam saber. Whoop. Put that in there. Nice. And then the other beam saber just goes right here. That is an excellent place to keep your right under the arm, just ready to go at a moment's notice. Just whenever you need it. It's good. Good bit of business. Oh, can I do it like that? Yeah, I can do it like that. There we go. I just had to adjust where the gun was. Now it works. All right, so now all we have to do is build this gun, and then we'll be done with this kit. And then the second hour, we'll do some Lego. And of course, we won't finish that Lego, but we will pause the build to then continue the build in the future because of Thursday's special stream. My 6-year stream anniversary. Hell yeah. Very excited for that. It's going to be a good time. Let's see. Is there any other news we want to talk here? Let's see. Star Wars Outlaws planets will be big as an entire Assassin's Creed game, is what they're saying. Which, that sounds too big. Like, what? So some of the planets are, not each planet probably, but some of the planets are going to be that big? That seems too big to me. Let's see. Let's see. Microsoft and Sony signed a deal on Call of Duty, which is very funny. That was just like, yeah, this merger is going to happen. Okay, Microsoft and Sony, yeah, they reached a deal. They struck a deal. And they can shake hands on it. And there's going to, hey, in case you were wondering, they're going to put a Call of Duty game on a Sony platform in the future. Weird, right? It's going to happen. It would have been incredibly funny if everything went through. If everything went through and they were like, actually, Call of Duty is now exclusive to Xbox. That would have been very fucking funny. It's probably a good thing they didn't do that. You know what? That's a good question. Which Assassin's Creed game? Yeah, some are bigger than others. Let's see if it says. Let's see. Outlaws creative director said areas in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. So, compared the size of the game's handcrafted planets with areas in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. It's a crude analogy, but the size of one planet might be equivalent to 2 of the zones in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. It could be 2 to 3 zones, but it's not this sort of epic, the whole of England recreated approach. So it means that some of the planets are going to be big. If they're saying it's not this whole England recreated thing, that tells me that some of it is like, oh, it's going to be big, but there will be parts of it where nothing is happening. It's just empty space. That's my assumption anyway. Okay. And then can take... So yeah, areas in the game isn't that big. Certainly not like the entire game world. Yes, I would agree. The title of the article made it sound like each planet is the size of an Assassin's Creed game, which was obviously not what they were going for. But that is what the title of this article made it sound like, so I appreciate you asking a question which let us clarify what was going on there. Nintendo Switch console helps to locate abducted child. Whoa. Check this update here. So apparently, yeah, it was kidnapping of someone who was 15, who had been lost for 11 days, which is, you know, obviously awful, and we're not here to make light of that situation, because that's obviously terrible. Let's see. There's some garbage, some real garbage about this story. But the part that's interesting is, let's see. No one was able to pinpoint her location until the girl booted up her Nintendo Switch to watch YouTube videos and download a game. As friends saw that she was online, informed the authorities. A friend saw that she was online and informed the authorities. Nintendo cooperated, and they called the Switch's IP address, finding her location, and moved to arrest the person that had kidnapped her. Yeah. And yeah, a lot of people credit this friend who was just like, wait, I should probably say something about this. Wait a second. That's my friend is online because we're Switch friends because we figured out how to be Switch friends. So, you know, it ends pretty good. And we're done with this kit. This kit has concluded, my friends. We got a beam saber. We got a weapon. We'll lean that down so you can see how it looks. We got our shoulder-mounted weapons here. This kit looks very fun, very good. This was a fun build. Again, reminder that this kit has no stickers and no polycaps. It is a pretty straightforward build. I think these things were a little confusing about how they went together and why one of them had a spot for a magazine and the other didn't. But yeah, this is a fun build. Pretty straightforward. It's a big chunky boy, and I always appreciate a big chunky model kit. And it was a pleasure to put together. Thank you very much, Dustin. We love our Witch Mercury. Nice. Ordered this kit for myself today since you liked it. Yeah, this is a fun put together. I mean, I haven't met a Witcher Mercury kit that I didn't enjoy putting together. I've been building a lot of them, and you know, they're fun. I think the Gundams are all really solid, and this was a fun grunt to put together. I think some of them are a little similar some of the grunts are very close to other grunts in this line, but that's okay because they look good. So yeah, we put that together, and that was a fun build. We'll save this here. I'm gonna take a photo of this, and then we'll do some. I was just thinking, chunky boy. Yes, it's got a chunk to it. It's a chonker. Let's take a photo of this for social media and also the Discord, and then we're gonna we'll get this Lego set started up here. So this Lego set, we will not finish. I don't think we're gonna finish it in one stream. It's probably a quick build. We could maybe finish it, but actually we might. I don't know. But we do have a Lego set to build here that came in courtesy of Harold. Thank you very much, Harold, H-Bomb and Friends, for picking up this this for me to put together here. This is the Aston Martin Valkyrie AMR Pro. This is a very this is, you know, not that difficult of a kit to do. Not many steps. We might just go long tonight and build it right here. Ooh, it does have one. What's it got here? Oh, because it was in a bag, the stickers, the decals, which are included here, the stickers came in a little box. I've only seen the box when they have like felt or something, so that's kind of fun. So that's neat. This came in like that. There's not that many pieces here. We probably actually get this done in the stream. So we'll just kind of put this there. We're not going to null it fully. We'll just kind of find the pieces as we need them. Make sure that I've opened everything out here. Make sure I've got everything out there. Yeah. So we might just be able to do this in an hour. I mean, there's some stickers. Because the reason why I say that is because on this Thursday, I'll pause whatever I'm doing to work on the Death Scythe Hell, which I can't wait to work on as part of my 6-year streaming anniversary. So please come to that stream because that's happening on Thursday. I guess I should say here I should update the stream information because I didn't know if we were starting this or not. Got the Aston Martin. What was the name of that? Valkyrie. Oops. Valkyrie AMR Pro. And again, thank you very much, Harold, for picking this up. Appreciate that. We're going to take a pause for the cause. We're going to talk about ways you can support the channel. Everything I'm about to say here is optional. You don't have to do any of these things. If you would like to help out, you're more than welcome to. There are ways that you can help support me in what I do here. First and foremost, if you're currently a subscriber like a Risk fan just did, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the tier 2 blue emote in chat if you would like to. Being a subscriber is the easiest way to support what I do here, through cash money or through using your Prime Gaming token. Tonight we had Lashbrook use their Prime Gaming token. We had Mr. Bob resub with cash money. We appreciate both of them for doing either way. You get some cool emotes. We get to hang out. Oh, I think Harold had to bounce. I think we did lose Harold tonight, which is a bummer because I'm going to build the Lego set that he bought. Oh, okay, you're welcome. I hope it's a good game. Okay, for some reason, Harold, your name didn't show up in users in chat. There it is. Okay, it didn't for a while there, and I don't know why. But you are here. Great. I was afraid that you had to bounce because then you wouldn't know that I was going to start working on this Lego. But you're okay. You're still here. Great. Good. It did. Yeah. Never trust the names in chat for being accurate. Is my feeling on that. But yes. I think it's going to be a fun little Lego set. I'm excited to work on it. You can also gift a sub if you want to support me financially here and help somebody out in the community. You can gift a sub like Bobby or Shotpoint or Aristofan. All fine folks for doing that. I'll get through this pretty quickly so we can work on this Lego set. I have a Patreon at patreon.com/PatBaer. There's a $1, $3, $5, and $10 tier. There are different rewards for the different tiers. If you are a patron, as a bonus, I put up all 4 of the YouTube shorts that I'm putting out this week because one went out to everybody, but they got to see 2, 3, and 4 because I didn't want to have to do it daily for them. So they just got it all at once. So yeah, my Patreon's another way to support me. That's a Twitch alternative and a better cut. Not saying you gotta, I'm saying you can. YouTube.com/PatBaer is the YouTube channel. If you want to become a member there, you get videos from me a day early. On my Wednesday videos, you get to see those on Tuesday. Subscribing is free. Becoming a member is $2 a month. It's not too much. And then if you want to support me on a one-time, just once in a while, not a monthly, well, you could do a direct donation to PayPal or Stream Elements or Coffee. And everything I make through direct donations, YouTube, which includes AdSense, so watching my videos helps me, Patreon and Twitch, all goes into a fund, and I take money of that fund and I buy model kits and occasionally equipment, but mostly just model kits. I have a backlog full of many things. The kit I'm working on Thursday, I could not have built that kit or bought that kit without your generosity. The fact that I get to build a Death Scythe that I have not built before because it's a new version of the Death Scythe Hell. Very excited to work on that. And I couldn't do that without your direct support, so I appreciate you very much for that. Now, the kit that I just finished, the Zowort, I got that kit because Dustin bought a gift card to USA Gundam Store. So I'll explain what that is right now. Go to USA Gundam Store. You have an account there or start an account there. You buy a gift card. You send me a whisper here on Twitch or a DM on Twitter because I changed it. So my DMs are available for everybody on Twitter. So you could do that. If you wanted to. You don't obviously have to do that, but that is an option that you have. That's the hardest way to support me. The easiest way is to go to my Amazon, like Harold did. The Lego set that we were about to start came from my Amazon wish list. And Harold, thank you very much for that. So Jump the Queue became the next thing that I built. And I'm excited to work on this Lego set thanks to the generosity of Harold. I've got Lego stuff. I got inexpensive kits. I got more expensive kits. I've got model kits of all different kinds. A lot of stuff from Witch for Mercury. Stuff that is on sale right now. I added a few things to the list pretty recently. Some that are very pricey. Some that are like pretty damn reasonable as far as price goes. But I do try to add stuff to the list now and again. So see if there's something on there that you'd like to see me build. You could just buy it. And then I will be happy to put it together on stream. And I got some expensive stuff and also some gear because it's nice to have some options for people about things that they would like to maybe see me build. Let's see, other things alternative to that is my Throne wish list. You can buy something off that. That is another way to support me, is to pick up something from Throne. And also I have my surprise gifts turned on Throne. That might be a mistake, but you could you could surprise me. Seems like a terrible idea, but you could do that. If you want to support me on my Discord, that's a way to support me for free. That doesn't cost any money. Jump in on my Discord if you'd like to do that. I post build photos. People post stuff they're working on. It is a nice place full of good people. Hey, I got a new episode of Pat Baer's Anime Club that went up today. That's right. Literally today, I put up a new episode of Pat Baer's Anime Club, and you should check it out. What's the premise of this one? Well, there are 8 isekai out this season, and I talked about all 8 of them, and if I recommend you watch them or not, and I let you know if I'm watching them, because that's a different case, right? Because sometimes I watch something, and I'm like, don't watch this. This is not great. But there's other stuff that I'm watching, and I'm like, hey, you should check this out. It's pretty awesome. So you can watch that video and find out if these are right for you. I have one comment on that video for someone who's like, oh no, Pat, oh God, you're watching that. And the answer is yes, I am watching the Reborn is a Vending Machine, and it's fun. I think it's a very fun show. Baerly Rehearsed is an ongoing video series where every week I record a character piece that I have put some time and effort into. It is barely rehearsed, but it is rehearsed at some point for some amount of time. This one is called The Proposal. It is a short, silly idea. It's a shower thought that I flushed out and appreciate you checking out if you can. The one I'm putting up for Wednesday, I teased this on Blue Sky. Wednesdays is particularly silly. I think it's going to be fun to watch. It's one of my favorite types of comedy pieces, so I think you'll like that. I think it's pretty good. All right, we breezed through that. We got everything we need to talk about here. I'm going to talk about a manga, and then I'm going to talk about some anime as we build this stuff here, so we'll get that ready. We got 2 anime to talk about, 2 episodes of anime to talk about, and we've got a manga to chat about. So we'll do that now. But first, I need to desperately, I need to drink some water. I also have to take 2 pills. That's weird, but I'm going to do it on stream. Hey, take your meds. Take your meds. This is not going to be a frequent thing, but I'm going to do that now. I'm going to drink some water, take some meds that I need to take, and we're going to get started. We'll dramatically transition to the overhead, and then we're going to get started on this Lego set right now. I don't think we've ever had a, hey, take your meds conversation on stream. But yeah, take your meds. If you got night meds, take those night meds. I mean, it's night for me. I don't know if it's night for you. Anyway, let's talk about some manga, and then we'll talk about some anime here. Manga chat. With 1 day left, I'll break all the destruction flags. Served you right. RTA 24-hour record. So this is a weird literal translation, but basically it refers to this is a otome game speed run, basically, is the kind of premise of it. So at this point, you're probably familiar with this. If you're not, I'll explain. The general premise is, hey, the main character suddenly realizes, oh shit, I'm the villain. I'm the scapegoat villainess in a otome game. Yikes. This particular brand, she's not that much of a villain. She's made out to be a villain. She's actually a tragic a villain, and the heroine, it's one of those, the villainess was actually probably justified, but the heart wants what it wants. Anyway, our girl is like, shit, I got 24 hours before I'm banished. And if I remember correctly, this, because it's an otome game, so it's branching paths. This version of the main character, she's going for the harem route. She's trying to get all of the guys. So I've got to figure this shit out. I've got to like save myself here. And so where some otome game based things, in some instances, the main character has time, right? They have time to do all the things they need to do. They have time to oh wait, did I do this right? Yeah. They like, oh, I realized in the game, but I've been a good person all this time, so I've changed the rules, right? Hey, Brinty, welcome. We're working on Lego. We just finished the Zowort Heavy a little while ago, which is a very fun build with no stickers and no polycaps. So I would recommend it. It's a big chunker with a lot of weapons, so that was fun. And now we're working on a very small but cool Lego kit that we got from Harold here, our Aston Martin Valkyrie AMR Pro, which is a small little like bag kit that we're excited to put together, and we're working on it right now. And I'm talking about a manga that I have been reading called "With One Day Left, I'll Break All the Destruction Flags," which is an otome game style thing. But yes, the important thing about this one is she does not have time. She's got 24 hours. Now, there is a twist. She doesn't know this. We know this. She is not the only person who has been isekai'd. Dun, dun, dun. This is not the first story to do this. It won't be the last, I'm sure. But it is a pretty fun premise that our girl is going... This girl... And also, she's surprised that things are not necessarily going her way. Exactly. The story has been changed because she is not a nice person. So the main character of the otome game, not the main character of the manga, is kind of like just taking things for granted and having to like kind of change things around a little bit to suit her needs. And she's kind of noticed all of a sudden that things might not be going her way because our girl is like, all right, well, I have information. So we're watching her like, basically her plan is I am eliminating all of the people that would judge me that would be there. And I'm trying to reduce the amount of people I have to fight in the moment. So she's like, figure this guy out for embezzlement because I know the game very well. So I can get this guy with these charges. This person, I can... she literally sets up one of the guys to take advantage of one of his employees who she knows is, she basically... there's no good description on this. There's no good way for me to say what this is, but she knows that a character is in love with a guy that's philandering, and she helps that girl honeypot the guy to basically take him out of contention for the main character. So it's not... I would say that our main character, who is, playing the role of the villainess, she's not a great person by any means or any stretch, but she is getting shit done and trying to save her own life, basically. She is doing what she needs to do. And she's also fucking over shitty people that were fucking her over in the guise of the infatuation they have with the main character. So it's one of those, right? If you have no interest in the I woke up and I realized I am now a character in a video game, in the dating game, or I'm the villainess. If you have no interest in those types of stories, I don't think this is going to be like something that you're like super into. I can't say for sure that this is going to be like your bag, but as someone that liked those, yes, and very one of those. Yes, it is one of those. Now, as someone, as I said, who likes those, this is pretty good. And I also do like it when people are like, oh, you're going to fuck me over? Not if I fuck you over first. Like, I like that. So we'll see how that goes, and if it works out. The fact that the other characters also been isekai is interesting. I think that is a fun twist on it. Oops, I put this. So I will say this about this kit that we're building right now. It's unlike a lot of Lego sets. I mean, it doesn't tell you every piece you need to put down because it doesn't have the room for it. Not that there's a lot of pieces, but I have been making more mistakes than I would normally on a Lego build. So that's interesting. That's just something to note that I have. I've definitely been like having to fix my mistakes more than I normally would. But that's okay because that's part of what we're doing here is figuring it out. Let's talk about the 2 anime that I have been watching that I watched over the weekend. Basically, what I watched since the last time we talked, which was, of course, on Saturday. I watched episode 2 of Zom 100, Bucket List of the Dead, and I watched episode 3 of Sweet Reincarnation. So episode 2 of... So I will say this. The animation quality was not as good in this episode as it was in episode 1, which makes sense. They came out strong. Now it's going to be kind of a little more of the show. Also, the animation, I think, looked really fluid because you went from the monochrome life. Our main dude, Akira, he was in a dead-end job and very unhappy and working himself to the bone and certainly contemplating ending his own life. And so everything was monochrome and kind of dark as we get these flashbacks. And even, like, a thing that was keeping him going, not that he ever, like, even pursued her or felt like he ever had, like, a chance to make anything, a connection. He had a crush on a girl at work. She was having an affair with the boss. So it's just like, things were not working out. And he was definitely at the end of his rope. And then the zombie apocalypse started. And everything got very colorful and bright because he doesn't have to go to work anymore. And that's kind of the tone of the show. Now, things are a little different in here because our dude is very like... we found out that girl he had a crush on, she's a zombie. The boss, he ends up killing the boss who was a zombie. There's a lot of zombies. He's surviving. And basically he's like, well, now that I don't have to work, my goal is to live the life I've always wanted to live, and I'm going to create a list of the 100 things I want to do. And we see like he's working on that list now. He's nowhere near done making the list, but he does have a bucket list, and he is working on it. And so in episode 2, he's kind of cleaning up. He's doing like stuff, watching a news report. He sees a reporter get attacked by a zombie. And he's just drinking beer. Just drinking beers and relaxing and just not really caring about what's going on. But what happened? He fucking ran out of beer. Oh no. So he kind of climbs out of the balcony to go get more. There's a nearby. There is a couple that we see that are suddenly freaked out by our boy, and he kind of explains the plan. He says, "I'm going to get provisions. I'll get you some stuff too, so don't worry about it." And he shows up at the store, and he sees a girl, and he's like trying to chat her up because she's not a zombie. So he's like, "Yeah, whatever. What do I got to lose?" And she's just like, if your priority is beer, then you're not taking this seriously, so we don't need to worry about this. She'd never team up with someone that doesn't have his priorities straight, right? Which is true. He doesn't have his priorities straight, and it's nice to have her perspective on this because, like, I thought we might only really have his perspective of, like, this guy who is... the way he is processing the end of the world is to be kind of flippant about it. And so it's kind of nice to have a different perspective from someone who is like focused on survival. Some zombies show up and then a car swerves into the shop to kill the zombies, which is a really well animated scene and kind of wild. And this girl, who we learn her name later, manages to save him. His bike gets totaled. He steals a motorcycle, and it turns out that the people that he ran into, the couple he ran into, their home is covered in blood, and the place is kind of banged up. So he basically concludes, okay, well, they got. They're either dead or they're zombies now. So he returns home and he writes 33 things into the bucket list. And then we meet the girl that Akira met. We don't know her name still. She was working out and listening to emergency broadcast when things went bad. And instead of a bucket list, she has an avoidance list. She's got like a survival list. She has binoculars and cameras on her vehicle, and she doesn't regret like him leaving and her not like communicating with him. The thing she regrets by the end of the episode is she's like, I wish I had grabbed when she was at the store. She wishes she had grabbed mochi, Sakura flavored mochi. So it was cool to see a different perspective. Her being someone who is taking this way more seriously than he has. My thoughts on this episode are basically... wait a second here. Sorry. Hold up. Sorry. I'm just looking at this and I did something wrong. I should be able to put one of these here. And I should be able to put one of these here on this side. And I can't because it's not big enough. Which means that when I built the bottom part, I didn't make it wide enough. So now I need to find the place where I made it wide and figure out what I did wrong there. I did these wrong. Okay. Now I see. I went like this. I was supposed to go like this. There we go. Now I got it. See? I fucked up. But it's Lego. So boom. Fixable. Now I can put the pieces where they're supposed to go, which is on either side of this. Okay. Yeah, so I'm liking it. Again, the animation quality wasn't up to snuff with the previous, but it was still solid. It was still good. This is still a unique show that I'm interested in seeing more of. I'd like to see maybe more survivors or him reacting to some people, if he's going to stay happy-go-lucky about this or not, because he's still pretty happy-go-lucky. I'll be interested to see where this goes. The other show that I've been watching is Sweet Reincarnation. This is a series about a dude who... he was a famous pastry chef. He died in an accident. Like literally, one of his giant creations fell on him and he died. And he's been reincarnated as a guy named Pastry. Pastry Casserole. And he's like, great. I'm in this medieval place. There's some magic. I've got cool powers. Awesome. I am so excited about getting into fucking baking. I'm going to become a baker. And that's a cool idea. And I'm very excited about my life as a baker in this place. But also he realizes pretty quickly, wait, I am the son of a local lord. And so I am going to have to deal with that. It is not going to be that easy for me to become a baker. And in fact, episode 2, bandits who all left an army, they all left an army from a territory, so they're stronger than regular bandits. They attack the village, and a bunch of people get captured. Some of the bandits get killed. They do lose some people, and it's mostly because of Pastry's extraordinary ability where he can copy skills of other people. And so he copied, or the status of other people, which includes their skills. So a couple people got burned in the face, and he copied that and pasted it onto every bandit, so they immediately just had burns on their faces and were easy to subdue, which is a pretty good plan. So there's a good portion of this very beginning is about the politics of this, where they need to hand over these folks to the count of a neighboring territory where the bandits came from, and that way the count can act like he captured them, and it's the politics of it. Pastry's friends who helped him out, Mark and Lumi, they're awarded swords, and they're assigned to be Pastry's future lieutenants. So his friends are now going to be, working under him in the future, which is like, okay, sure. That's good. It's good to have friends of yours in a supporting role when you are going to be eventually the ruler of a territory. So let's see. What else happens in this episode? Okay, so they're curious about the bandits. So Mark and Lumi sneak into the to the barn, and then the bandit leader tricks Mark and steals Mark's sword, and then stabs Lumi and escapes with Mark as the hostage. Lumi's okay, but Lumi did get fucking stabbed. Pastry happens to follow after them. There is a bit of them tracking each other and trying to find each other. And then Pastry ends up rescuing Mark, but the leader of the bandits, does escape. So it's not a good even trade. And then under duress, Pastry has to admit that the reason why he was able to do that was because he can copy abilities. He didn't tell his dad about it, but one of the abilities that he copied was Casserole's ultimate ability of teleportation. So now he can do that. Casserole makes Pastry swear to secrecy, because if people knew that he could copy things, they would use him as a weapon, like a human weapon. Because apparently he can copy any magic that exists. Just any magic. So, he's our main character is overpowered. Now, does he just want to fucking be a baker? Yes. Our dude just wants to be a baker and make pastries, and he doesn't want any of this other shit, but tough. That is not what life is leading him. Mark apologizes to Lumi for getting hurt, and then Pastry bakes. And speaking of baking, Pastry gets to bake an apple pie, a bonka, to celebrate. And then Lumi's father is like, "Hey, you wanna fix this mistake you made? I got a way for you to fix this mistake. You know what you got? You know what you should do? Marry my daughter." And then Lumi's like, "Yeah, we should get married." So Mark is apparently engaged to Lumi. So the childhood friends are now engaged, and that was settled very nonchalantly. And you get the sense that this was inevitable, and Mark was just gonna that was just gonna happen. Mark, like, yeah, sorry, dude. You were probably gonna marry your childhood friend and probably childhood sweetheart. Like, yeah, my dude. That's it's a fun little end there. But yes, I imagine there'll be more magic. I imagine more people are going to find out the secrets of Pastry's deal. I believe that Pastry will be not making as many pastries as he would like. And that's just like the vibe of the show. Overall, I would say that Sweet Reincarnation is fine. I would consider the show to be totally watchable. And I don't know if it's good, but it is pretty okay. That's my kind of vibe about it. There is some far worse isekai, as you can see if you want to watch my video on it. There's some far worse isekai out there this season than that. So you could do way worse than Sweet Reincarnation. But I do think that Zom 100 is pretty rad. Even if they're So I don't think they're abandoning the premise, but they are exploring a different way to look at it. Now I want to hear from you, friends. What are you watching? What are you playing right now? Is there anything that you're looking forward to? Maybe that's coming out this week. If you're not playing anything right now, I have beaten Diablo 4. I'm still going to be playing Diablo 4, but I have now successfully yesterday I beat Diablo 4. Also, a thing I did yesterday, I set up several hours of WWE 2K23 because that is my stream tomorrow. Is CPU versus CPU matches in WWE 2K23. That'll be tomorrow's stream. So I spent a lot of time getting those matches set up, recording those. They should look better than my previous recordings. They should sound slightly better. I don't think they're going to be sound much better, but at least they should look better because I have a different way of recording those. I will tell you this, friends. Jesus. Two of the matches end so fucking weird. I kind of can't believe it happened. But we got 8 matches. They should be good. Got not too many new characters. It's been a decline on new wrestlers or new goofy wrestlers. There's always plenty of like weird wrestlers, but there aren't a lot of goofy wrestlers right now. But I did manage to find a few of them. So I got a few for us to chat about on stream. So that it'll still be good. But it's just like, yeah, it's not as many as I would like, basically. But it still should be a good stream. That's tomorrow. Harold says, I finished Ted Lasso. It was pretty good. Good. I'm glad you enjoyed Ted Lasso. Lastberg says, spent the day catching up on podcast homework, so I watched the pilot and first episode of Twin Peaks, followed by the end of season 1 of Rebels. Yes, for your podcast, your conversation podcast about various subjects, and you are inclined to be up to date on those topics when you listen to those podcasts. Totally understand. Not my style, but totally understand. Ghostfowl started playing Final Fantasy 14 again. Not much else. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot of video game. Lord Crashington says, I don't think Act 1 of Diablo 4 ever actually ends. It feels like I've been a level 50 before it ends, so that I can think the game may end at some point. I mean, if you get to the point where you can just create a new character and not have to play the game with that, or the story content with that game, you've beaten the game. Just Another Spicy. Hey, Just Another Spicy says, I've been playing Sackboy, A Big Adventure. Very, very fun game. Yeah, I never got super into the Sackboy games, but I know a lot of people that really enjoy them, so I'm glad you're having a good time with it. That's going to be it. We almost completed this, friends. We almost speed run. This will be the fastest Lego build we've ever done. Half a stream. That is a new record for Lego. I think a stream has been the shortest because we do a bigger kits and 3-in-1s and all that. So, but this one went together pretty good. I mean, I still have to put stickers on, so we're not done yet because I still have 3 stickers here. I've got to put the face on this car, so we got to do that. But yeah, I did a lot of WWE 2K23, which was fun. Don't get me wrong. That was it was fun to watch those matches, and of course we'll watch them tomorrow night. But I did have to restart one thing because I wanted to get the entrances right and all of that. It's a fight. You may remember that Kairi Sane, who is not officially in the game, but her entrance is still in the game because it still is as Sky Pirate. She comes out with a treasure chest because she's got a pirate theme. And if you have her as a champion, she will have that belt. She will open the treasure chest at the top of the ramp and have that belt, which is very fucking good. Now, the problem is that's a solo entrance, so you have to have her come out by herself. If you make a tag team, you can't have that as the entrance. So she has to come out by herself, and their tag partner has to come out by herself because she's the NXT Women's Tag Team Champion one half, along with Mystique from the X-Men, from X-Men comics and such, Marvel Universe. So Mystique comes out by herself, Kyrie comes out by herself. That's kind of annoying because then, since it's a championship match, they don't get an intro because championship matches. So basically, they just go, and their challengers, the tag team champions, and then there no words happen because in tag team matches, they just want to say the name, and for titles, they just want to say the name of the tag team. But anyway, I created a tag team for them, and then I created a tag team to go up against the Ninja Turtles, Raphael and Michelangelo. And I created a tag team for that too, because I like tag team entrances. So it worked out. It worked out all right. It's not. Yeah, it was a fine setup for tomorrow's stream, and I think you'll like it. Oh, Lord Crash didn't jump back into American Truck Simulator, so I have something relaxing to play while waiting Oklahoma's addition to the game. Nice. Yeah, my Power Wash Simulator was my relaxing game, but I have now completed all the parts of Power Wash Simulator that I hadn't completed. And so now I'm just waiting for more Power Wash Simulator to have my relaxing game. Because, hey, guess what? Mars First Logistics, not relaxing. A very good video game. That's the other video game that I put some hours in yesterday. A very good video game, not like friendly for just chilling out. Actively fucking difficult. That is unfortunately a difficult video game. It's a great game, but it's not a chill experience. So, all right, let me take a photo of this car. Just kind of get a side angle of that. This was a very quick build, but that's okay because it was fun. But this is now the shortest the shortest amount of time I've ever spent on Lego. But it was fun to put together. So thank you very much, Harold, for that. I'm glad you were here for it. You know, I could have done this earlier, but you were away, so I didn't want to do that while you're away, of course, because it's nice to have you around live for me doing that. You finished Brooklyn Nine-Nine on Peacock, so I'm kind of jumping into some self-harm. Rewatch it. Lord Crashington, I'm not going to tell you what you should and shouldn't do with your life. You do you. You live the life you want to live. But I will say, you don't need to rewatch Heroes. You don't need to do that. There's got to be something new for you to watch that isn't Heroes. That's not a good program. I don't think it was ever good, but at the very least, if you did think it was good, you didn't think that it got better or as good. It clearly got worse over time. You want to stop after the first season. Okay. Well, all right. If you got to watch the first season again for kicks, okay. But fucking yikes. That ends as a bad time. Well, we're not going to start the death. We're not going to start the death scythe, but here. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to go to the pre-show screen for 1 second. You can hear me talking for a second, but hold on. Hold the fuck up. Hold on. Where is it? Okay, here it is. Over here. Okay. Here we go. All right, I'm coming back now. Coming back now. Harold says Chuck was the better show in that lineup. Chuck had some stuff going for it. I don't want to say that I loved Chuck, but I at least appreciated what Chuck was doing. Hey, it's the Death Scythe. It's the box for the Death Scythe. It's a black box. It's not a blue box or a red box because it's a premium Bandai kit. It's a black box. That's fucking cool. I'm psyched about this. Sometimes you get a gray box. Red, blue, gray for premium. This is a black box. I think it's neat. We're just going to talk about it for a little bit. 2023 kit. You may remember that. The Gundam Breaker Battle Log. A character in that, which was all like mobile suits that were like kit bashes. There was the Live Lance Heaven, which was like the opposite Death Scythe Hell. And people could tell when that kit came out, they were like, Lashbrook got theirs today, box was a little squished. I hate that. Sorry to hear that, Lashbrook. But when people could tell, they were like, hey, this is like new parts. It's 2021, but this is 2021 because like there's the a bunch of kits that were just like some new parts, mostly old parts, but the Live Lance Heaven, all of it said 2021, and people were like, wait, what? And it was like, oh, okay, yeah, they're gonna make a Death Scythe Hell, a new Death Scythe Hell. And it took a while because they made the Death Scythe. They made a new Death Scythe. We built that on stream. They've made new Shenlong. They've made new heavy arms. They made the update of the heavy arms with the second gun. We bought that. We didn't need to buy that, but the Death Scythe Hell. Unfortunately, it is a premium Bandai kit, and I'm sorry about that. So some of these parts are from 2019. So some of these parts are going to be the 2019 Death Scythe. Makes sense, right? So these parts are all the same. If the parts are the same from the Death Scythe to the Death Scythe Hell, you're going to get the Death Scythe parts from 2019. So this is 2019. This is 2021. This is going to be... Yeah, so it's either going to be parts from the Live Lance Heaven or parts from the Death Scythe. And then maybe a few new parts here and there as well. So pissed when NBC canceled Chuck. That was years before I got into the NBC show. I mean, yeah. I mean, like, when a show you like gets canceled, it is really tough to just be like, yeah, I'm into it. It's hard not to take that personally. So yeah, 2021 stuff. This was also like the Live Lance parts here. And then we get into the 2021 parts here. And you're like, wait, did they just have this ready? Like, no, this is the Live Lance Heaven parts. Okay. But look at this black. This matte black. I mean, it's a little glossy, but it's gorgeous. Lord Crash says, this iconic show for the era is defined by Writer's Strike. Yes, Writer's Strike did fuck up quite a few shows. I was kind of caught off guard by the big scene where one of the characters is sexually abused and killed, but wakes up again with her chest cut open in the morgue. And this was a thing that was on network TV. Yeah. Yes, Lord Crash did. Yes. This white is also lovely. Like, I don't even know if the overhead camera can do these blacks justice. I don't know. I think my photos at the end are going to be, it might be necessary to look at here. The panel lines are so good on this. But this white is lovely looking. This black is great. I'm just thoroughly happy. These are thick. This is thick. This is not flimsy. Our lovely scythe parts here have a nice heft to them. I'm very pleased with that. Overall, very pleased with it. Of course, look, there are stickers. There's not going to be a lot of stickers here. You got your eye stickers. You got your front camera stickers. There are going to be a few. There's always going to be some stickers on kits like this. Do I wish there weren't any? And do I wish there were 0 polycaps? Of course I do. That's not likely for this. The thing about the premium kits that always are a bit of a bummer is there's no color pages here. It's very bare bones. It's premium because it's a kit you wouldn't get normally, even though that you should get this normally. But it also is a bummer because it's very obvious that, like, I would love a little bit more love put into these booklets, is what I'm saying. Lord Crash says, Danny Dwyer says he found a tape box with a compartment, a tape box with a compartment with a bunch of DVDs and CDs of press kits. So there's one surprise the next thing the crew is hoping for. Yeah, all right, press kits, yeah, okay. Some DVDs and some CDs of press kit stuff, yeah. Easiest way to get those out before USB sticks or FTP sites. Anyway, I'm fucking excited to work on this on Thursday. Like, obviously, it goes without saying, friends. I'm so thrilled to be celebrating my 6-year anniversary as a streamer. I'm so glad that I'm still doing all of this. I'm so glad so many of you are hanging out and going with the flow here and have been along for the ride. The folks that joined this year, this is the first year you've been hanging out. This is the first time you've watched a stream of mine. The friends that came and remembered me starting the Gundam X, and immediately realizing I needed a fucking screwdriver, and so I had to do a different part of the kit because I needed a screwdriver. And I was like, why the fuck would I think I needed that? Like, my first model kit in, you know, so many years, and it turns out it was a kit that was like, that required tools that I didn't have. For folks that have been since like day one, all the way to people that are just tuning in now, I'm so grateful that I get to keep doing this. I love building death sites, and I'm gonna build the death site on Thursday. So I hope you come and check that out, and we'll again throw that up right now. My 6-year streaming anniversary is this Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern. We're not doing anything super special, except that I'm going to be building a model kit that I really want to build. That's the special thing, is I'm going to work on a death scythe. Normally I would have a poll about what I build next from my backlog. No. Death scythes jump. No polls when death scythes are in town. They become the next thing I build. And I would have paused whatever I was building. We just happened to end on the Aston Martin. So we finished up on a kit. And so we actually needed something new. But if I hadn't finished this, it would have had to wait. My box did also get a little banged up there. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. My other box, totally okay. The Gundam Rose, looking good. Can't wait to build that. That's a great looking kit. And that is going to do it for tonight's stream. But don't worry, because we're going on a raid. We're going to go find somebody out there doing cool shit that we want to go spend a little bit of time with, because we always end with a raid. I just hit a button that I should not have hit. So my apologies. We always end with a raid. Folks that are not subscribers are seeing an ad right now because I hit the wrong button. I wanted to hit the raid button and are getting set up for a raid, and I didn't do that. Instead, they are watching a 60-second ad, which is fucking rude of me. Those of you that are subscribers are not seeing an ad right now. My apologies to everybody for that. Mary is still not streaming, which is understandable. She's got stuff going on in her life. We're not getting those ads at the beginning and the end of the show. Yeah, that was a mistake. We're not going to go watch RoboCop with Robo Mitch. That's silly. Who are we going to go raid? You know what? Let's go fucking hang out with the old-timey computer show. When's the last time that we did that? I don't know. But we're going to go raid the old-timey computer show, because that's nonsense. What are we watching right now? A Verizon thing. Not Horizon. Something. Horizon. Horizon painting by numbers. We're going to watch some old weird shit. We're going to watch some old weird shit, and it's going to be fun. Come along on this raid. Enjoy some nonsense. I hope you all had a great time. I hope you have a great rest of your night. I apologize for the ads that I'm showing some of you right now. We're going to go hang out and watch some old-timey computer show nonsense. Come back tomorrow night. WWE CPU versus CPU matches. It's going to be silly and fun. We got some new characters, one of whom I think you're going to fucking love. My wrestler, my persona, is wrestling. The Pat Baer, I modified it after the last stream that I did. When I created it, I did some changes. I gave him some moves that I think are fun. We'll watch that. That's the opening contest. Thanks so much for hanging out. See you soon. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.